Alright TM Nation, so when it comes to Skullcandy headphones, I have pretty much every pair that they released over the past few years, whether it be the Crushers, Crusher Evos, Crusher 360s, the Crusher ANCs, the Venues, the Hesh ANCs, or the Hesh Evos. Guys, I own them all and I've used them all for hours at a time, both for testing and for my own casual use. Now, although you can still walk into your local Best Buy or Target and purchase most of Skullcandy's headphones, some just plain aren't worth it because of how old they are and the features that you will not get with them. So that being said, in this video, I'm gonna give you all the 5 pairs of Skullcandy headphones I suggest taking a look at that are still viable in 2023. And if you own any of the headphones that I mentioned in this video, let me know in the comment section if you would recommend them to somebody else, as this may be helpful to somebody watching this video that is on the fence, or if I missed a pair of Skullcandy headphones that you think should have been included, let me know that in the comments as well. First on the list are gonna be the Hesh ANC headphones. You can usually find these for around 95 bucks, and for that price these provide you up to 22 hours of use on a charge. But if battery life is your main concern, it is worth noting that these do provide quick charging, which will give you 3 hours worth of usage on only 10 minutes worth of charging. These also provide a really nice and comfortable fit on the head, especially for you bald guys out there like myself. The padding on these is excellent. Another thing that I like about the design of these is that they are both foldable and collapsible, which makes them great for travel. And sound quality wise, they really provide that nice full Skullcandy sound with highs and mids that are clear, but with a noticeable focus on the low end. Now overall, they provide a well-rounded sound that is not drowned out by the bass response, so if you're listening to something with a nice bass line, you will feel that rumble. And in terms of the active noise cancellation with these headphones, I would say that it's decent, and it's certainly a nice feature to have if you want to drown out some of your ambient noise, but I'm going to tell you guys that these are not going to be on the same level as more modern Sony, Bose, or even mid-range Soundcore headphones that feature ANC. Next on the list are gonna be the Crusher wireless headphones, and these are gonna be a must-have on this list because this is where the wireless headphone bass game started for me. Not only do these give you adjustable subwoofer-like bass in a pair of headphones that you don't have to connect to an external amplifier or anything like that, but they also provide you with up to 40 hours worth of use on a charge and a comfortable design that is proven to withstand the test of time. And guys, you have to remember that my pair is over 5 years old and I've exercised with them, taken them with me on travel, dropped them. I've done pretty much everything that you would do in a pair of headphones with these, and they still work without an issue. The fact that you can get a brand new pair of these for under 100 bucks today is crazy to me, and I think that these are a good place to start if you're on the fence about Skullcandy's ability to make amplified headphones. Next we have the Hesh Evos, which basically carry the same design as the Hesh ANCs, but without active noise cancellation and with increased battery life. With these, you can get up to 36 hours of use on a charge, which is a substantial upgrade over the 22 that the Hesh ANCs provide, and you still get really similar sound quality between the two, but these are usually $10 to $15 cheaper than the ANCs. So if active noise cancellation is not that important to you and you prefer the most battery life you can get, these are not a bad option at all, coming in at around 80 to 85 bucks most of the time. Next are another pair of Crushers that I've loved ever since they came out. These are the Crusher Evos, and they're pretty much an improvement over the Crusher wireless headphones in every department except for the battery life, which stayed about the same. I will say that I do like the build quality of these a lot more than what you get with the Crusher wireless, because these have a more premium feel to them, especially with the bass slider and the buttons. The Crusher Evos are also compatible with the Skullcandy app, which is a huge feature with these because it allows you to access the personalize your sound functionality, which is something that you cannot do with the Crusher wireless headphones. Besides that, the Crusher Evos handle bass at the higher volumes better as well. From my experience, the Crusher wireless headphones start to lose steam as you crank them up above 50% of the max volume. You don't get as much of that roll off with the Crusher Evos. I've also noticed that the highs and mids are still respectable even at the higher volumes with the Crusher Evos. When you completely max them out, they can get a little muddy at times, but they're still overall a lot clearer than what you'll get with the Crusher Wireless. As for the price, you can usually find the Crusher Evos for about $150 or so, and they're 100% worth it in my opinion. Next, but certainly not least, we have the Crusher ANC headphones, and as of the time of this video, these are the boomiest and best sounding amplified headphones that you can get from Skullcandy, but they also provide really respectable ANC performance at the same time. The battery life is decent at up to 24 hours on a charge. You do get access to the Skullcandy app with the personalize your sound functionality. The build quality is rock solid, and these are comfortable for me to wear for longer listening sessions, and the sound quality with these is just unlike anything else that's on this list. Now the gap between these and the Crusher Evos is smaller than what you'll get between these and the Crusher wireless headphones, of course, but even when I put these on my head immediately after using the Crusher Evos, there is a noticeable difference. To my ears, the ANCs provide a more refined sound overall. The highs with these are definitely more detailed, and I can hear the mids just fine, but the bass is on another level. I personally have always had subwoofers in my vehicles, and I'm telling you guys that these headphones are the closest that I've found to that trunk rattling bass that you'll get with larger subwoofers that hits pretty much every low end note. Now these certainly are not cheap, and I don't find that they go on sale for less than MSRP often. At the time of the video, I was able to find them on Amazon for 315 bucks, and that's pretty much the norm for them. But again, if you're looking for that deep, punchy subwoofer like bass, I have to say that these are worth it. Now that we've gotten all of that out of the way, I do want to touch on the call quality, as all of these pairs of headphones do have microphones built in, so no matter which pair you go for, you can take and make voice calls from them, but I can tell you up front, the quality is not the same. As I think that you guys will be able to hear in the following samples, some do a better job of focusing on your speech and rejecting some of your ambient noise than others, but I'll let you guys judge for yourselves. Let's check them out. Alright guys, so right now I have the Crusher ANCs paired to my iPhone 14 Pro. As you can see, the audio that you're hearing is coming directly from the microphones on them. I'm not going to do any type of editing to this sample, so this should give you a pretty good idea of how well these will perform in a relatively quiet environment. And now I have some simulated background noise playing in the background. Everything else about this test is exactly the same. Not going to do any type of editing to it, so this should give you a pretty good idea of how well these can focus on your speech while rejecting some of your ambient noise. Now I have the Crusher wireless headphones paired to my iPhone 14 Pro. As you can see, everything else is exactly the same. Not going to do any type of editing to this sample, so this should give you a pretty good idea of how well these will perform in a relatively quiet environment. Now I'm still paired to the Crusher wireless headphones. Now I have the background noise playing in the background, so this should give you a pretty good idea of how well these can focus on your speech while rejecting some of that ambient noise. Now I have the Crusher Evos paired to my iPhone 14 Pro. Again, I'm not going to do any type of editing or changes to this sample, so this should give you a pretty good idea of how well these will perform in a relatively quiet environment. And now here is the background noise test using the Crusher Evos. Everything else, like I said, is going to remain the same. I have kept the noise level on the background noise test exactly the same through all of these samples, so this should give you a pretty good idea of how well these will focus on your speech while rejecting some of your ambient noise. Now I have the Hesh ANCs paired to my iPhone 14 Pro. I think by now you guys get the idea. Not going to do any type of editing to this sample, and my room is relatively quiet at the moment, so this should give you a pretty good idea of how these will perform. And here is the background noise test with the Hesh ANCs. I can already see from the waveforms on my phone that these are not picking up as much of my voice as some of the other pairs, but as always, I will upload this so that you guys can judge for yourselves. Now we have the mic audio quality test using the Hesh Evos. Again, they're paired to the iPhone 14 Pro, and I'm not going to do any type of editing to this sample, so this should give you a pretty good idea of how these will perform in a relatively quiet room. And here is the background noise test using the Hesh Evos. Again, everything else is exactly the same, so this should let you know how well these can focus on your speech while rejecting some of that noise. So before you guys make a decision, I do want to say that all of the headphones in this video do charge via USB Type-C besides the Crusher wireless headphones, which still use micro USB. I know some people out there don't care about this and don't think that it's a big deal, but I know personally I don't have many micro USB cables lying around, as most of the items that I use do charge via USB Type-C. Outside of that though, guys, I do own all of these pairs and I haven't sold any of them over the years because each of them performs well based on what they're designed to do. If you want the deepest bass and best sound experience overall, I would say go for the Crusher ANCs, although they aren't cheap. If you want a clean sound overall without the amplified bass, the Hesh ANCs or Evos are a nice buy. And if you want an amplified bass experience but you don't want to go all the way up to the Crusher ANCs, I'd say that if you have the extra 50 bucks, go ahead and get the Crusher Evos. But if you just want an adjustable bass experience and you want the most bang for your buck, the OG Crusher wireless headphones are hard to beat. Before you get on out of here, if you rock with the channel and your boy Tecmo, hit that subscribe button and knock that notification bell out so you won't miss any of my uploads. Welcome to TM Nation. Peace.